Welcome to Nico Props. I'm Chris Fry, and today's video I am going to be turning a leaf spring, and this is the other half of that spring, into a pirate cutlass. This is where we're going to get to, so let's get into that. Always wear gloves and an eye protection when using a angle grinder. Leaf spring in the forge, using the power hammer to kind of draw this out. Oh, you've got to have quite a good grip on the tongs, I realised, and you've got to keep it level. If you don't, it starts to jump all over the place. It's a learning process. This is a little power hammer. It's a 16 kilo, I think. The ones that you see on like the Alex Steel channel and stuff, they're quite big ones. They're like 60 and 100 kilo kind of weights on the ram drop. I've also got the camera mounted in a really stupid position. It's just on a tripod on the grinder, so it's just bouncing around. You can see the power hammer, bump, bounces around a lot, and I didn't realise how much it vibrates around. And back onto the power hammer again. So I still got it on the grinder. I don't know why I put it back there. I'll move it in a minute. What I'm doing here is I've managed to get it down to dimension, and I'm now pulling out or isolating out the tang and drawing that out. So the tang, for those that don't know the blade terminology, is the bit that goes, is the transition from the main blade into the handle. The tang is usually inside the handle. It's the bit that connects the two pieces together. Usually this is thinner than the main blade and drawn out. Depending on the type of tang that you're doing, this is what's known as a through tang. So it will go all the way through the handle. You also get different kind of tangs as well, so sort of an internal tang. You get pinned tangs and all sorts. Depends on the knives and things that you're doing, but this is sword, so this is a through tang for this particular one. Getting a little cold, probably need another heat here by the look of that. Just flatten it out a bit. This power hammer is a Zeiglar. It's actually a similar design to most of the ones. Anyang do a little one like this. It's basically the same as the big power hammers, the exact same design, just small. You can get these from China as well. This one's a German make. As I said, it was Zeiglar. I'll put links in the description below. Okay, on to doing the tip. Something I have realised is that my hammer technique is wrong here. What I'm actually doing here is I've got that hammer at an angle and I'm hammering downwards. I should be hammering into the metal. That's why I ended up with that cushiony thing, which I'll talk about later on. And it actually caused an inclusion. Fortunately, I managed to control it in such a way that I got it to the tip of the blade, so I didn't have to waste too much material, and it still remains within spec of what a pirate cutlass should be in length. It's surprising that until you actually start doing this and start doing the blacksmithing and things, you don't realise actually how malleable steel really is. I mean, yes, it takes a lot of effort to move it around, but if you make sure that your metal's hot enough, which I don't, I mean, I'm hammering on it way too cold there, and that's something else I've learned. That's the kind of temperatures, that's almost welding temperatures to be fair, that's probably a little more. But sort of, around that kind of temperature to start with. I gave it a brush there as well, take off any scale so I don't hammer it into the blade. Very important to make sure that you descale regularly and keep your anvil faces clean, so you don't hammer that scale into the blade. Tip looks like it's pretty much there now. So it's been a good day of forging. We're at the grinder, which is here, and we need to grind the Cutlass. I'm just going to grind it flat across that back edge, level that off and flatten it on both sides for now, and then I need to think about doing bevels. Okay, let's do that. This is such a bad angle for the grinding for your guys' perspective. I didn't include a lot from this angle. I actually did find a really good point in the workshop for the camera that I end up using later on. We've got a couple of cuts in this video as well that I didn't line up properly in the editing, and I've got to be honest, I can't be bothered to fix it now. This grinder, by the way, this is a knife grinder or linisher. I'm still learning how to use it. I am getting better actually. This project's been really useful for that. I mean, the amount of grinding in this has been insane. But this belt linisher was built in Poland by the TS project. So yeah, so basically what we're going to be doing is taking a leaf spring from a truck. This is a piece of a leaf spring. These are usually stacked up. I've already separated it out. They're usually bolted on in the middle here, as we can see. I've separated that piece out. I then cut it in half. I took the larger piece and forged that out. Now what the issue that we have is with the forging with these springs is we're trying to get to a 5 centimeter diameter. Sorry, diameter? Height, whatever, width. And this is obviously too large, but it's also not long enough. So we need to thin it down and draw it out to a longer length. Using the power hammer, which the camera's currently sitting on at the moment, we managed to bring that down, and then I hand finished it. This is the final piece in all its glory, with the tang as well. So yeah, that's what it looks like at the moment. Now, from this to this, I think that's pretty damn good going for a day's work. Frankly, for a beginner, I've never made a sword before. I've made 1 or 2 knives. I mean, technically I've made 2. So this is my first sword. It's, you know, basically just a big knife. And last night, I've got to confess, I had to start grinding. Obviously I started grinding it. And when I had it set on my desk, and I realised that there was a warp in it. It was wobbling. So you can see these colours here, if I come closer to the camera. These colours. These are temper colours. So steel changes colour when you heat it. Normally with tempering you're after a kind of this dark straw colour. This blue bit's where it gets too hot, but then it doesn't matter with this at the moment because it hasn't been hardened. Now, what I did was I heated it up and then I put it on my workbench behind me here where I'm still working on it. There's 2 pieces of metal there next to the torch. I literally heated this up in the place that I needed to bend it, bent it, and then I realised as it was cooling, because I'd heated that single area, you can see it's more blue in that one area, I heated that single area, and then as it's cooling, because the heat's dissipating through the blade, it started to potato chip, so bend upwards. So I was like, that's because there's not an even heat. It's cooling down too quickly in one area, or it's staying too hot, or whatever. There's a temper differential. Now I knew that this front edge was fairly flat and straight anyway, and I knew that the problems were at this end. So I heated this end of the steel, put some heat into the bottom and into the tang and things, but mostly I concentrated my heat in this area, and I kind of painted it with the blowtorch, just a standard plumber's blowtorch. I think that's got propane and butane mix anyway. So yeah, painted it, put it between the plates and just clamped it down, and because I could see light through it by looking through that way, I could see the light coming through the other side. I could clamp the plates down and see, using just some basic screw clamps, where it needed to be pushed down or not, which meant I could hold it all down while it cooled down in the position, so the molecules of the steel will hold it in that position. This is spring steel. You know, it's come from a leaf spring, so it's going to have a memory, but that memory is not locked in until you heat treat it. So we're battling a little bit with some of the memory and things. I need to make sure when I'm working I'm having a more even heat. That's something I need to be more aware of. So yeah, that's it for this video. What we're going to do on the next video, I'm going to finish grinding this up, and I'm going to take this piece of 1 inch round, and that's going to become the pommel on the rear end, and also the D guard as well. So we're going to forge that out. Okay, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit me up on Facebook as well. We're on there too. Yeah, take it easy, guys.